Today, we're smoking up some spare ribs with a little bit of a surprise. Check this out. Before we get to the surprise, we're going to trim these up a little bit with our dark matter boning knife from Spaceman Knives, of course. We're going to take off just about this much of it. We're still going to cook this. It's a delicious piece of meat. It's just not going to cook at the same rate as the rest of this rack. So we don't want it to be way overdone when everything else gets done. You also want to look for any pieces of meat that are just gonna like not cook well. Like you got this fatty muscular stuff here, so we'll just trim some of that up right there. And we'll flip it over. This entire flap right here has to come off, otherwise it will just end up overcooked. So we're gonna take it off too. One of our previous videos, somebody asked what the difference between spare ribs and St. Louis style ribs is. And the truth is, St. Louis style, they're just spare ribs that are trimmed way down. So they'd remove this piece of meat right here and a bunch of other stuff, and you'd end up with a St. Louis style spare rib, or St. Louis style spare rib. We're not going to trim them down that far today. We're just going to cook spare ribs and call it good. There's always debate about whether you need to remove this membrane or not. The membrane will absolutely give you a tougher bite. However, cooked long enough, it tends to render out okay, especially if you score it. That being said, I'm not cooking 25 racks of ribs today, so we're going to go ahead and remove it. Now, a lot of times I can get this membrane removed in just one nice long pull, but never when I'm filming. So we'll see how I do today. Start by getting a butter knife and getting it up underneath the membrane. If you put it on top of a piece of the bone right there, it makes it a little bit easier. You want to be careful not to go through the membrane if you're trying to get it off in one piece at least. So I can already tell you this one is not coming off in one piece. This one is coming across apart in shreds apparently. Well, we're going to stop filming that. Now for the surprise. My friend at Spiva Cooking makes this absolutely wonderful Al Pastor seasoning. That's right, we're going to do some Al Pastor ribs today. I think they're going to come out fire. Stay tuned and see what happens. We're going to season them up pretty heavily here. One nice even distribution of the seasoning. Look at how red that is. If anybody's keeping track, you can see I went ahead and scored that membrane because it was not coming apart. I don't think I've ever had one that just ripped that easily. We've got the smoker running right about 235. We're going to put these in here with some other meat we already have cooking. Because we're playing with some new equipment today, there's a whole bunch of missing footage. We did run these ribs no wrap until they were done. No sauce at the end. We just kept them a little bit moist, spritzed them down a little bit. You can see they came out nice and shiny. Sliced them up with our Meteor Series Mega Chef. And there were no complaints in the house about these Al Pastor ribs. Let us know if you have any questions.